Well, it's
But hey,
too late now.
you know
I
what?
guess I'm just gonna
We're
be dark.
live. Yeah. Hey. How is everyone? Welcome to Central Junction. Oh God, why is my stuff not responding? There we go. Anyway, as always, I'm your host, Matel, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. Also, now finally at our new location. Luckily, hey, we're in other rooms now. we don't have to like worry about our volume or whatever overlapping with each other.
That's
I can
true.
be as loud as I want. I can
So
project. I can be away from the microphone. It's great.
Have my gain all the way turned up. Is that all right? Does it sound okay?
Yeah. Just let me adjust you.
Should I turn my gain down? I don't.
Well,
I don't
whatever
know
you're
what gain
comfortable with.
means.
So gain is basically mic sensitivity, more or less, right?
Okay.
So
So higher.
higher means it'll pick up more things further away from it, more ambient noise or whatever. Lower is higher sensitivity or whatever. Like the lower the gain is, the closer you need to be to your microphone for anybody to hear you. But yeah, whatever you have your set at, just be comfortable with it.
Good.
Leave it there, and then I'll adjust your volume on this side to make sure that neither of us are overpowering each other.
How am I right now? Because I prefer not to be like this talking.
No, you're fine. You're fine right there.
Testing.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can actually turn it up. But if I'm fine like this, then I don't have to get like a book to have it here and
Yeah. No, you're fine
right
right
against
there.
my face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Woo! New digs that you can't see. So I turn off my background. Right now, it's dead. I need to get more interesting. Background. Let's see. Yeah. Kind of boring at the moment. No, that window looks like a door. Oh well.
A little bit, yeah.
We'll just stick with
It's
that.
okay.
For now.
It's just
I need to get
a
lights.
blank wall behind me, so.
Yeah. I have I could probably fit my key lights now if I just I could actually move my desk. It's right up against the wall.
Oh,
and
well, that's why you're so dark.
See my hand, but
You're like, why am I so dark? It's
I
because
have
the
my
only
key
light coming
lights
off of you is basically like your screen or anything
bouncing
reflecting off the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. But now I have room. I can put the key lights behind my monitors, and I'll do that for next time.
Yeah. See, because I'm plenty
just
bright
happy to get
because
my
the main
computer
light is
working.
facing me from right there. My back's to the wall. That's usually a smarter thing. Personally, it's more because I have trouble focusing if my back isn't to a wall. Like even when I was home alone at the apartment, just because of the way I was sitting, I would just have trouble keeping focus because my back wasn't to a wall or something. So this is just overall a better
Yeah, I used to have a
situation.
guy who worked for me at my company for like 15 years. He's actually the first guy I hired who had a real problem with anyone ever being behind him or even the possibility that anyone could ever be.
Oh,
behind
do I hate it.
And I know. I'm like, well, I get it. I didn't, I was like, I get it, but I'm not. I mean, he's like, I will quit my job if I have to be,
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
up against the wall with like the door of my office behind me. So he had to be, which I get. But like when I was in my office, I had just like this. I had my desk up against, and I mean, I get why people hate that, but like, I don't know. I felt like I didn't ever have anything to hide, and so it's just like, I don't mind if someone comes in and they see what's on my screen because.
Oh no, that doesn't bother me either.
I figured if someone comes in unexpectedly, they're gonna see that I'm working. They're gonna see I'm doing coding or something, and they'll know that I'm not just I'm not just the boss. I was a coder and doing work, or I'm doing financial reporting or something like that. At any rate, that was my philosophy. Certainly,
my problem is
begrudge
I just have
anyone
chronic
else.
paranoia. It's more of like a security thing. Okay, I don't care
Yeah.
if people watched me work, but I can't stand somebody being like over my shoulder, which is one of the things I do actually like about modern technology. Like, if a boss wanted to make sure that I was working, I wouldn't mind having another monitor facing the other direction that's just duplicating my screen, so they could walk by and see what I'm like. I'm not trying to hide anything. I just don't like people being behind me.
Yeah, and actually now at my current office, I'm up against the wall, and anyone walking by has to walk behind me, and they can see what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I
the
think that would
cubicle setup. I
drive
saw it.
some people nuts. I could change it, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
really know how. It's a U shape. Yeah, where there's no way to point it. I couldn't turn around, so I was facing the rest of the room. I don't know. Doesn't bother me at all.
I'll
Plus,
tell
I
you
can
what
just
used to
sit
bother
here
me.
and play games on my phone, and
Oh,
nobody
yeah,
can
yeah.
see that.
I used to hate in school.
Well, plus, no.
Right, because you can't control where you're sitting in school unless the teacher gives you the option. But even then, there's very few cases where there's a desk right up against the wall unless the teacher set the room up that way. And they, teachers have to be able to wander around. They have to like look at what you're doing. And I just could not stand the teacher just like hovering over my shoulder. I would just like stop whatever I'm doing. I could be working on the assigned work, and I would just like stop working until the teacher moved. Like on to the next person. Sometimes I'd even be like, "Yes, do you want something?"
Can I help you?
Yeah.
No, I'll occasionally have somebody. Well, not really. I mean, it would only be my boss, I guess, who might like stop for a moment behind me not to see what I was working on, but probably to ask a question because he doesn't know anything and
Yeah.
needs advice. So, but yeah, I figured this would be nice to not that I don't want to be, talking to you or be in the same room, but it's nice when you have two separate microphones to not be picking up each other's voice. But now I can't see what's on your screen, so can't guess.
That's for the best, right? Because like one of the things we've been possibly waiting on. No, I could get you some if you want it though. One of the things we've been possibly waiting on, maybe I'll get in contact with the others after we're settled in more, is if we can get back to the tabletop game that we used to play. But there was no way we could do that with us being in the same room, because you wouldn't be able to help but look at my DM screen,
Yeah, it'd be too tempting. Because it was like literally, I just had to look over my screen and I could see you like right in front of me. So there's
were actually,
unless I turned around,
many times while we were still there, that if that red pantry wasn't right there, that I was just gonna rotate the whole setup that way.
Oh,
yeah.
I would. Yeah. Well, you know what happened to the red pantry?
Yeah.
It's behind the dumpster. Well, I don't know. They've probably somebody's taken it by now, but yeah, it ended up in the dumpster, which is sad because it's a nice piece of furniture, but like I should have thrown it away long ago. I only bought it because at my previous apartment in Alabama, there was literally no pantry for anything. Like I don't even remember exactly how the kitchen was, but I guess there were places to put plates and stuff, but other than that, it's like, how do you have an apartment with nowhere to put food?
Yeah, this house has an abundance of pantry space.
Pantry.
Talking about ways things are set up, that stupid closet in the hallway could double as another pantry if was completely necessary.
True.
Like there's so much space. I don't even know if you'd fill it.
Yeah, but we don't need it because there's the actual pantry is like at least twice, maybe 3 or 4 times larger than the pantry at that other place. Maybe at least twice as large. Because it was so narrow. It was like a little door.
Yeah, because it's shorter. It's not as tall, but it's wider and it's deeper. So volume wise, maybe twice.
It's pretty tall. I think it's the same height because the ceilings are higher here. So
Maybe. I don't know.
the pantry itself is, I don't know.
I have
Yeah,
an
it seems
easier.
like it
I have an
because
easier time
the
reaching
top
the top
shelf.
shelf of this one than the other one.
Hmm,
That's my metric for it, being a short person.
okay. Well, it's much wider,
yeah.
so I feel like it's almost twice as big.
Yeah.
But we do need
It's
we
deep
do need
too.
a spot. I hope people don't mind us talking about our new place, but
I don't care. We do need to start getting on stuff.
Um,
Here, actually, I could show this room real quick. Look at this. It's empty, basically, and that's the way it's going to
Yeah.
remain, because I like
need to start
space
putting-
to exercise.
need to put stuff on the walls though. Put posters. We need to get like sticky tack for posters and stuff at least.
I'll
Since we're,
put
we're still renting, so
a single thing right behind me that can be picked up on camera, and that's it.
I can actually. What's funny, what's actually sad is that I would love to put like, not that it's a huge deal, but I used to have like my diploma,
Yeah.
my college diploma, up on the wall in my office when I lived in Nashville, and that was one of the things that I lost in the. Keep forgetting I don't need to lean down. In the COVID eviction, they took my fucking college diploma. I need to see if I can get another copy from Vanderbilt. One of, I mean, like I said, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't really affect my life, but like, I feel like it was an accomplishment. I'd like to, especially because I almost failed out because of my severe ADHD. Ended up taking 6 classes the last semester just so I could graduate on time. And pass them all. So I feel like, deserve to have my diploma on the wall now that I have space for it. Along with a bunch of anime posters and, etchy stuff that I got from Anime Matsuri. Stuff like that. But I don't want to put holes in the wall here.
Yeah.
So at least poster. We can do poster.
Though, I mean, I am really good at filling holes in the wall. Do you know? We were just talking about something similar. Do you know what's the easiest thing to fill a hole in the wall with?
Paste.
It's toothpaste. Yeah, it's toothpaste. And all you have to do is bring a color sample from the wall to Home Depot, get the exact matching color. Nobody ever knows the difference because you just take. You could even use a toothbrush, but I've got plenty of actual paintbrushes. You take a small brush and you just spot cover. Nobody ever knows. I've done it at so many apartments.
Yeah. What's interesting is I've been in one, but I don't think I've ever lived in a home that didn't have just sort of standard sheetrock or drywall, walls. And I actually was curious because we were looking at, this wall is not just drywall. I believe maybe stucco.
I can see that. Yeah.
Just Google says it would either be concrete or stucco, and I don't think it's concrete.
No, this is definitely not concrete. You'd be able to hear if it was concrete. That's not concrete.
Well, okay, wait. So that's for exterior walls. I mean, I don't know. So I should say, what are interior walls? It's interesting because I know that a lot of older homes are genuinely made of adobe. What is
in this given area
around here?
Yeah.
What is adobe? No, what is it?
It's like, it's just the industry headlining brand of products for commercial use.
Would you like to know about Photoshop? It's a building material made from clay, straw, and water. It's used to construct houses. It's basically mud.
I've made
It comes from a Spanish word for mud brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good for houses around here because it insulates without like expanding and contracting. So it's good for houses when it's, as you know now, it gets down into the low 50s sometimes high 40s, and up into the 130s. So
Yeah.
in the summer. So you need a wide range. But no, well, according to Google, it might be drywall.
All right. Well, if it is, there's no problem.
Or it might
getting
be
a tack
stucco.
right in there.
Yeah. Or it might be stucco. It doesn't seem like, at any rate.
Anyhow,
What is stucco? Curious.
you guys want to hear
Cement-based.
about the fun or dumb things going on in gaming? That's what I gave the headline for. That's what we're going to be talking about. I have a mixture of fun things, mixture of dumb things. Normal stuff over here at Game Central Junction. Since we have not addressed anyone directly. Hey, Mike. Hey, Fizz. Thanks for showing up. The dumbest thing. I'm gonna start you off with something really dumb. So, Nintendo is opening up its second official store in the U.S. You're probably thinking, like, why is this dumb, right? For some reason, they're opening it up in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, I get it. Historically, San Francisco, big city, great city, port city, especially opened up to Asia, right? But these days, it's like that store is going to close down within months of opening.
Yeah. I mean, it's Silicon Valley. It's very logical. But I'd sooner, like, I know there's a lot more people in San Francisco, but I'd sooner open it in San Jose.
Yeah.
Just because across the bay might not get as much foot traffic, but, like, I don't think there's as much retail, like, mass shoplifting.
Yeah.
As there is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I
Joseph says San Francisco's overrun with druggies and human poop. Yeah. There's actually street view images where it's hard to tell the difference between certain streets in San Francisco or India.
I had it on the wrong chat. I was like, where are you seeing that? Oh. That is what he's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like... Well, here's the thing. People are saying, like, oh, you listened to the wrong people or whatever, but they had to have been planning this for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
And not that it was better, but
next to Chinatown too. Yeah.
Maybe it's...
because I have a map of where they're going to put it. It's going to be on 331 Powell Street. So, like, the closest things, there's Asian Art Museum, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, Chinatown's right there, the Cable Car Museum. It's right in that general area. Ugh. I don't know.
So maybe it's a nice enough area.
Yeah, I could see that. It's not too far from the bridge. Like, I mean, you're driving a while to get there, but it's like it's near Bayside Village in Chinatown.
Yeah, it's near the Oakland Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
Is that the bridge?
No, well, I mean, technically, it's by both bridges,
This
but
is
it is
Golden
closer
Gate.
to the Oakland than it is to Golden Gate. Like I was saying, with the other one, it's quite a drive to get to Golden Gate, but
I'm curious where... So I've not really been a long time since I looked at the San Francisco map. I'm just wondering where Tenderloin is in San Francisco.
that's it's a cut of a pig.
It's also the worst area of San Francisco. And what do you know? Wait. Oh yeah. Wow. It's funny the different areas. It has a Japantown, Little Saigon. But yeah, the first time I went to San Francisco, I stayed right near Tenderloin. And that was not a great idea. Because it's awful. That's basically the hood.
Yeah. It was really weird though that the Nintendo store is actually going to be closer to Chinatown than it is going to be to Japantown. You'd think if you wanted to put it anywhere, you should put the Japanese company's store around the other Japanese things so people could like plan a trip or whatever.
Yeah. This is a very bad idea.
Oh yeah.
This is a very bad. They are. Why does it keep losing it? They're a couple of blocks from Tenderloin. They're gonna get robbed. There's another way around it. They're gonna get robbed badly.
For sure.
I walked from a nightclub that. Don't know why we went to a nightclub in Tenderloin, but I had to walk like 3 or 4 blocks to my hotel in at GDC 2015, and I basically came as close as you can to running, just outright. I'm gonna run because I do not feel safe. I basically jogged. I mean, this was like 2 or 3 a.m. Yeah, I was walking extremely quickly. So yeah. And druggies, like, yeah, I almost got tased.
I think by 3 blocks from Lincoln.
Drug addicted. Yeah, I almost got tased by a drug addicted homeless man who had a taser, and that was actually right outside my hotel. Fun, good times. Yeah. And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's just the problem. That California as a whole just isn't the place that it used to be. It is mostly the biggest cities that's the issue, but it's like, if this was 20 to 30 years ago, and you wanted to put a place, like a store in San Francisco, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not, right? But now it is just not the place to be.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is
I think Vegas would have been a better place to put it, honestly. Go a little more inland. At least it's a tourist destination.
I know exactly where this is. There's 4 blocks from the hotel that I stayed at that just was a block from Tenderloin and just had homeless people and hookers all over the place. Does it, like, why do they... Oh, I was thinking, surely they picked a nice area, but
no,
they didn't.
Well, I already knew it wasn't going to be a nice area because I don't know much about San Francisco. But then when I saw how close it was to Chinatown, I'm like, that's not a good area.
Well, first I was thinking, well, maybe they have based Asians there that keep the place clean, but no,
south of Chinatown is like notoriously a muck. If you were like on the north end, maybe.
Oh my god! Like, yeah. Where's the curious to see where the Moscone Center is, because that's actually in a nice area. Howard Street. Okay, but I bet it's okay. Yeah, there's like the Museum of Modern Art. There's like a botanical gardens, children's museum. Yeah, they needed to move over like 10 blocks to the east and a couple blocks south. Yeah, that's stupid. Good luck.
Yeah.
They're about 10 or 12 blocks off.
Oh yeah. Well, I also like. Is it the Captain Falcon one? I didn't realize that was a joke. I thought that was just a genuine question.
Captain Falcon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Mario and Luigi are gonna get mugged.
Do you ever see that Robot Chicken sketch where Mario and Luigi they're like in their Double Dash Mario Kart and they take the wrong turn and they end up in Vice City?
I've probably seen it. Yeah,
I think it's from like season 1 or 2 of the show, but that's what I'm thinking of right there. Is they're having to deal with that.
Yeah. Have you seen the was it College Humor that did like the Super Mario Brothers movie, the live action? It was just a preview, but it had like Who's that guy who's gonna play Mr. Fantastic?
Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal. Yeah,
No.
he played Mario.
No, I've
You
not
ever
seen
seen that?
No.
God,
Is that like a
that's hilarious.
dorkly
I guess
thing?
it's-
Or?
I don't. I think it's maybe movie trailer.
Or is that like their main brand?
Pedro Pascal. Oh, I guess it was Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah, well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Actually.
It was Mario Kart. Can we play it? You want to play it?
I guess. I mean,
I feel like this is
huh?
it's 2 years ago, but it seems appropriate for them opening up a store in freaking worst place in the world, or worst place in the country anyway.
Right, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Typically, when you
and the highest
see
crime.
crime, it is around not income, but income disparity. Like the larger the gap between people. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're in an area where just everybody's poor, who are you gonna rob?
Yeah. Well, and like you don't even feel like you need to, because like everybody's in it together, right?
Yeah. Huddle by the fire of the,
Yeah.
on the corner
The
of
trash
street.
fire. Hey, you know what? If it was cold, I would huddle
Yeah,
around
huddle
a
by
trash
the
fire
tire
too.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that just awful decision, Nintendo.
Yeah. It's cool that they're making these. Well, I like the first one was in New York, and it's like, okay,
But it
I
was
get
made a
it.
long time ago, and I
kind of
think
where
it's
they
like
started.
it's near Times Square anyway, so it's like it's a tourist destination in New York. You're not gonna have any problems being there. Like you might get pickpocketed, but that'll happen anywhere there's tourism. You know?
Yeah. Why did they choose LA? They should have been in, like Dallas, or I wouldn't put it in Chicago.
It was even Vegas, right? Would
Or
have been
no,
fine,
San Francisco, not LA.
right?
Yeah, Vegas.
Right,
Vegas is fucking run by the mob. It's like clean,
Yeah.
as clean and safe
I
as
know,
you can get.
but it's a tourist destination. It's like it's still pretty close to the
They're not-
coast, right? Like everybody goes there. You'd make
Yeah,
lots of money
and
in
there's
Vegas.
family friendly. Yeah. I mean, they don't put up with any bullshit. They're just like, nah, no, we're not
Hell,
allowing
even
this place to go to
fucking
hell.
Seattle, which is pretty close to your home offices, you know? Like, I mean, it's not the best place,
Yeah.
but it's a much better place than San Francisco.
I wouldn't put it in Portland, but
Oh, hell no.
Seattle would be good.
I mean, Seattle's got its bad places
Actually,
too, but it's got some pretty clean tourist places that you can just like avoid all problems at.
Yeah. Now I've been to Seattle, but didn't spend a whole lot of time, and it was raining the whole time.
As it
So
does in
I
Seattle.
didn't get a. Yeah, I was there for a week. It literally rained all day, every
Yeah.
day, all week. I went to the Space Needle, and I went to the the fish market. But other than that, I mean, I don't really know anything about it. But
I
it
feel
struck me
like
as
if I
better
went
than
to
San
Seattle
Francisco.
and it wasn't raining, I'd be upset. Like I feel like I'd be gypped from my experience, you know. I've got some friends up in the area. I should probably visit sometime, but
It was nice. I liked it. I'll tell you, and I might have said this before, best Eggs Benedict I've ever had in my entire life
you know,
was at the Space Needle in Seattle. And I random. I was just like, yeah, Eggs Benedict. I think it had like crab in it and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I've never had anything this good. I've never had any Eggs Benedict. It's crazy.
I don't think I would have no frame of reference. I don't think I've ever had Eggs Benedict like in my life.
When it's good, it's very, very good. I don't know if I've ever had bad Eggs Benedict, but just, mediocre.
So you want some good news? Let's palate cleanse a little bit. Let's bounce back with some better news. Still Nintendo related, I think.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if this is... No, it's not going to be Nintendo related. Not all their games have been on Nintendo. I'm just used to it being. Apple Arcade related. Katamari Damacy is coming back with its first game in 8 years, with Katamari Damacy rolling live, which is, I guess, a mobile game that's going to be on Apple Arcade, probably first. A lot of these games, after like a year or two,
I can get it for free.
Yeah, they'll end up being somewhere else afterwards, and it looks fun. You know, it's like it's got all the stuff you want from a Katamari Damacy game. Your little guy running around, rolling things up in the ball because you gotta make stars. We're in the star making business. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you start by picking up tacks and
eventually you're rolling up entire planets.
I don't know if I've ever actually played. I've seen it, but I don't know if I've ever actually played Katamari.
I've played the original Katamari Damacy. I've not played anything else. I think I want to say GameCube is what I played it on. I think. It's been a long time.
Let's see. Yeah. How many have there been?
I don't even know. I know there's like We Love Katamari. Like it wasn't just on Nintendo. There was like also one on like PlayStation or whatever as well. It's been mostly mobile these days though. I know it was back on the Wii had a one. It's a very, at this point, long running but disruptive series. There'll be like gaps. It's like there's been 8 years between the last game that was made here. A bunch of just gaps, and it'll be all over the place. You don't know what system or platform it's going to be on the next time you want to play one. But it's a very good series.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, I guess it says the original came out in 2004 on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, maybe it was PlayStation 2. It was that era. I don't remember what system I played it on.
Yeah. It's Japanese for plump spirit.
Yeah.
But then it was re-released as Katamari Damacy Reroll on Windows, Switch.
Yeah, in like 2018.
In 2018, and then PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Google Stadia.
That's going to be like a time capsule thing to reference with Google Stadia, and people are going to have no idea what the hell that was.
So
like,
wait,
what's that other one? What? Yeah, there was the sequels were We Love Katamari, and there was also Me and My Katamari, which were PlayStation 2 and PlayStation Portable.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I always play these on PlayStation. I maybe it's the bright colors. In my head, nostalgically, I always connect these with like being a Nintendo game, but they really weren't until recently.
So so those sequels were they released in North America?
I don't know. I've only played the original. I've always heard of the other ones. I've watched people
I see.
play them on like stream or whatever, but I've never played them myself.
I guess they were. Okay, Electronic Arts published them in Europe, but they were published in US.
Yeah.
Interestingly, there's a remaster of We Love Katamari, which is also on the Switch, that came out in 2023.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be fun, because I've never played that one.
Yeah, to look those up. The other one was only on PlayStation Portable.
Yeah. I think... Was We Love... Because I've watched people play it. I think there was like a co-op or whatever, like a two-player in We Love Katamari that they brought in, where you could both be working on it. I'm trying to remember. Or was that the PlayStation Portable? One of them had like a co-op thing.
Yeah. There were more play modes, so there was more than just the goal of making a star. There's also items known as royal presents that unlock clothing that the prince's cousins can wear, Oh, that's unrelated. A cooperative two-player mode is available, where each player controls half of the Katamari
Yes.
and must work together to roll up objects. How does that work?
So it's like
We control one half of it.
it's like a you go left, I go right type of situation from what I remember watching.
Oh. It's like a three-legged race kind of thing?
Yeah. So you kind of have to like actually work together to get things done.
Okay, so if you want to go forward, both people have to go forward.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
turn right, the person on the right goes forward.
It's convoluted, but yeah.
Weird. Huh. I would like to play like a battle mode, where you're in an
Yeah.
area and you
You're
try
trying
to
to,
roll
like,
up the biggest.
Almost like a territory thing. Like you have to get this stuff before the other
Yeah.
person does. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know.
It'd be kind of like the Pikmin battle modes, where you're trying to pick up more stuff.
Yeah.
than The other. Well,
Yeah.
sequel got an 86 out of 100 on Metacritic.
It's a very beloved
The original
franchise.
got. Yeah. Is there a Metacritic? The original got an 86 as well. So it's called Katamari Damacy 2?
Which one? The
The new one?
Oh no, the new one is Rolling Live. Katamari Damacy Rolling Live is the one that's going to be on Apple Arcade. I'm guessing because it's going to be a live service game to some degree. There's not a lot of information about it, but that's my guess. If you're going to put Rolling Live in there, it kind of makes you think that there's going to be some type of live service element attached to it. Maybe the
there's been a
service
lot
will
more.
just be that episodically they'll just add stuff to it on Apple Arcade, and then maybe there'll be like a completed version later on other systems.
Yeah. There have actually been a lot of different games, mostly in the early 2000s, mostly mobile games and, you know.
Well, in the aughts, you have to understand, Japan was super big into phone gaming. Really, really shitty mobile phone gaming. We're talking like pre-smartphones, right? And most people over here have only heard of some of them. Like, some people are familiar with the Final Fantasy VII kind of like mobile phone game where you play as like the Turks, and you play as, they're like named after the guns they use. So you play as like pistol and shotgun and stuff like that. And that's like the only one. But there were tons and tons of shitty, just like, I'm playing it on my Nokia phone mobile games in Japan, while we were over here just playing Snake and Tetris.
Yeah. Well, a lot of, it looks like some also PlayStation Vita games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, the Katamari Damacy Reroll, the remake of the original, has a 90% rating on SteamDB and is currently on sale for 70.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't even know it was on Steam. I'll probably add another thing to my ever-growing 300-plus object wish list.
Yeah. And in fact, the current price, $7.49, according to SteamDB, is the lowest it's ever been. So,
well, we are heading into the spring sales. Like, it is that time of year. So, be on the lookout. You're going to see a lot of things dropping.
Rolling Live. First all-new entry in 8 years. Such a weird...
Yeah.
Well, it's cool it's on Apple Arcade, because I do get that stuff for free.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I really wish that Apple would put out like some version of the Apple TV with like storage or whatever, where you could just get a controller and play Apple Arcade games directly on your TV. We've talked about this before, but like I have no desire to get like an Apple phone or computer. I think the closest I get would be a tablet, like an iPad for gaming. But like I know there is an Apple TV. If you could get me like an Apple controller and like an SD card that could store the games or whatever on there, I would love to get like was it like $3 a month or whatever to play Apple Arcade, or if you don't have it from some other benefit.
Can you not play games? So we have the Apple TV app on our television.
Yeah, but I don't think Apple Arcade is integrated into Apple TV. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need to integrate it, which means you need to have, like, a controller that does it. And I think the best way to do that would actually just put everything it needs in the controller, even like a micro SD card slot. You could store everything you need there, and it's like, boom. This is Apple Arcade right here, right in the stick. Apple, talk to me. I'm your guy. I'll tell you what you need to do to innovate. Okay, you're flopping over there.
Yeah, really. Well, yeah, it's kind of there is an Apple Arcade app, but it's not available on PS5. It's not available on anything but the Apple TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to give up on that hardware. Just make it an app. I mean, basically make it a Google Stadia that could actually succeed, but or if it's an app on like PS5, you could have storage. You could download games to it.
You put it on a Switch as well, you know? You could,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, they're missing an opportunity. Because I don't want to buy an Apple TV. Do you have to actually pay money for it, right? I mean,
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Question. It's almost like, well,
if you just could buy a controller and the app was like connected to the controller, like a Bluetooth to any smart TV, and the controller housed all the information it needed, it's like that would solve the problem too. It's like I would buy an Apple controller that comes with Apple Arcade in it.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious now. So Apple TV, it's $130.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous.
Definitely. They should just make this available with a free with a year-long subscription to Apple Arcade or Apple TV,
something like that. Yeah.
Which itself I think is less than 100, or maybe it's more. I don't. Anyway.
Because I don't want to be an Apple hater. I think some of the things they've been doing are actually really good for like the gaming space. They're just kind of like not going all the way. It's like half measures.
Yeah, I will say Apple Arcade's really cool. I just downloaded because I noticed it was there. Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster is on there. And I was just I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, and they were working closely with Mistwalker Studios, which is why Sakaguchi's last game, Fantasian, was originally in Apple Arcade before it was anywhere else. I don't remember if this also came to Android after, but Shantae and the Seven Sirens or whatever it's called was originally in Apple Arcade as an episodic game before one everywhere else. Like they're doing a lot to support gaming. It's just a lot of it's like half measures.
Yeah. So you can get the Apple TV wireless has 64 gigs of storage.
Okay.
Very much. The one with Ethernet has 120. So
that's not that bad. I mean, if I did, I would probably prefer the one with Ethernet, just because it's more reliable.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to talk about the biggest news of the week, though? Which we were talking about a little bit, I think it was yesterday. So, Pokemon Go developer Niantic is set to be acquired by basically just Saudi Arabia. It's Saudi Arabia's Scopely. But because a lot of it comes behind their public investment fund, if you get acquired by Scopely, you're basically being acquired by Saudi Arabia. It is the same studio that makes Monopoly Go, which is very popular. And pretty much every single one of its games, Pokemon Go, the Pikmin game, whose name escapes me, all of those games that Niantic makes.
Oh, Pikmin Bloom.
Bloom, that's it, yeah. Will be owned by them. And I actually think it might be the best thing that happened to Pokemon Go. And the reason, unlike when things get bought by China, which it's very hit and miss on whether something gets better when like Tencent takes control over it. The few things that have been acquired by Saudi Arabian companies, one I can think of very specifically when SNK was acquired by their public investment fund, basically is under direct control of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They've almost been encouraged to make things even more the way they used to be. It's like almost like an anti-censorship thing, where it's like when SNK was purchased, it's like, oh yeah, we just want it to be Japanese. Just make it as Japanese as you always made it. We're not going to censor anything or whatever, which is crazy. You'd think historically, if anybody was going to be censoring things, it would be Saudi Arabia, but it's not. So I think like we've already seen the idea of like re-rolling the stupid change to the character customization in Pokemon Go, but I think like the game might actually thrive in this environment.
Well, it's an interesting, it seems to be, I guess it's a bit of an oversimplification to say they sold Pokemon Go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so yes, Saudi Arabia, I guess the more complicated way to say it is that Scopely, which is a game company based in Culver City, California.
Yeah.
Bought Pokemon Go.
Yes.
And they were acquired in 2023 by Savvy Games Group, which is owned by the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Mm-hmm. Which is controlled by the Crown Prince.
Controlled by the Crown Prince. And how much did they buy it for? 0.5 billion. Wow. That's like almost as much as all of Scopely. But they bought it for less than 0.5% of the total assets of the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. So it's like, yeah, it's not like, I don't know. It just, when I first saw this story, it was like, oh, they're trying to acquire all this stuff from the United States. And it's like, well,
no.
It's a very small acquisition for them. Like you said, they're probably just going to make it better. And it seems like they're trying to get away from just relying on oil.
Oh yeah, if you've been looking at basically all of the acquisitions that the Saudis, the Royal Wealth Fund, there's a public wealth investment fund too. Like there's a few different things. All of the acquisitions made by those have mostly just been like diversifying their economic ventures. But specifically with video games, and I've been paying attention to the video games a lot, they do seem to be targeted purchases of things that the Saudi people specifically like, but also that the prince likes, like things that he has personal investment in. And it's like he wants to see the games be the games. That's what I've seen. There's even like an interview when it came to SNK. Personally, I would not be surprised if this purchase was directed. They told Scopely to make the purchase because of Pokemon Go is something that's enjoyed by a lot of people. That these are, it's not like an acquisition for power control. It's an acquisition of, I want my games to stay good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
which
I don't
I'm
know if there's any
for.
way around the fact that, yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's any way around the fact that these humongous funds and groups and multinational conglomerations are just kind of run everything eventually. But
Yeah.
like, as things go, I guess Saudi Arabia is not as bad as like Iran buying it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
They're technically they're an ally, and I
Saudi's
feel
been
like
becoming
they've
more based over time.
liberalized.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they're
but
not, I
like
wouldn't call them
they let women
liberalized,
drive,
but
right?
yeah, there's that.
Or,
Which again you could
or do they?
directly relate to the prince once he pretty much became in charge.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it was it 2016 maybe, but women were allowed to get driver's license in Saudi Arabia somewhere within the last
Yeah.
decade. Now, they still need to be accompanied by somebody, like a man in the car, but it could even be like their son or something. But women are allowed to drive and have driver's licenses now.
Mhm. It says they can drive without a male guardian's
Oh,
permission.
did that change? Okay. When they first got the driver's license, there
Um,
still needed to be a man in the car. Maybe it was like a incremental change over time.
Yeah. And apparently women can now get a passport, travel abroad with a permit.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to go from medieval, Muslim law to like 2025 Western,
Nor would I
the Western
necessarily
liberalism
want them to,
overnight.
right? You
Yeah.
just want them to
But
play ball with the rest of the world. That's all you want to do.
yeah,
You know?
at least kind of get out of the Middle Ages and allow women to live, without. I guess that's funny because people around, in the United States are like equal rights, blah blah blah. I'm like, everyone has more than equal rights here. There, I can understand if people
Yeah.
actually cared about equal rights in Saudi Arabia.
It's a culture thing. For the most part, people need to be able to have their own culture. There's some lines that you can set, right? But people need to have their culture. But if you're going to play ball with other people, there are certain things you have to do. And in international trade, it's not just for local women. The laws are changed so that women from other countries who come over aren't impeded. That's the real reason, right? Like we send an executive over there who happens to be a woman. She needs to be able to travel around the city without being constrained. These are just things that have to happen when you deal in international trading communities.
For some reason, my room gets way hotter than everywhere else.
Yeah.
Turn down the temperature.
It gets pretty warm in here if I have the door shut.
Open the door. Yeah. Do you have the door open?
No, it's shut right now. Like I could probably take this jacket off if I wanted to. I already had it on when we started the show, so like I didn't know anything about it. Yes, no. Modern Saudi law is not anything like medieval Ottoman law.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was before.
At any rate,
yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact. I mean, actually, as much as I like to laugh when game studios close, I feel like Niantic is decent. I mean, they've made some mistakes lately, but I feel like they know what they're doing, and people enjoy their games. In this case, it looks like they're claiming they're not going to have any layoffs. They're going to keep the same staff. Basically, nothing's going to change for the time being, as far as staffing and ongoing development. And it's based in the U.S. still, so
Yeah.
all right. I don't think it's bad news necessarily. It's just kind of news.
But it was the big news because everyone was talking about it. And I mean, it is good to dump a little more into it because nobody that I saw talking about this on like Twitter anywhere did anything but like surface level of like, Saudi Arabia owns Pokemon Go now. It's like, not only is it more nuanced, but it's probably better than a lot of people think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to cause people to stop playing. Probably not. Be
No.
like, I'm going to not play.
Most
for a
people
week,
are not
and
even
then
going to be
I'll
aware.
Go back to my. Yeah. Go back to my addiction. I can't believe they have 20 million active League players.
Yeah.
I gave up. By the time they got to Gen 3, I got confused, just like all Pokemon games. I got confused and stopped playing. It's like, I don't understand. I don't know what these Pokemon are or what they do.
I was never very interested in Pokemon
No,
Go.
actually.
Like, I gave it a
I'm
try.
remembering wrong.
Yeah.
I was going to say I quit when basically Pokemon Go Plus stopped working.
Yeah, that's what you said like last night or whenever we were talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, I played it for 2 weeks, but I did not have a phone that was connected to like a service or anything. So basically, the way I played was my brother would give me his phone while he was asleep because I was up all night anyway, and I would walk around the streets and I'd catch Pokemon in the middle of the night, which sounds kind of weird, except I found that at least during the initial boom of Pokemon Go, I was not the only one doing that, and I would come across like 50 to 100 different people doing that in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But then after a couple of weeks, I'm like, I don't really like this game. I mean, I love Pokemon, but like this game, it was just boring to me. It's like I could totally play it now if I wanted to. Zero desire.
Yeah. I guess 20 million isn't that many worldwide.
No.
It looks like they peaked at 131 million.
I think right now, most people, when it comes to mobile Pokemon games, are playing the Pokemon TCG Pocket, which is on and off since it came out. The highest grossing, I guess you want to put in the category gacha game, maybe even just one of the highest grossing mobile games. I think recently it made like $100 million in a single month, and that wasn't its like first or best month. That game is doing crazy. We might see a little bit of fall off, but it's the type of game that you'll definitely see go up and down in waves, especially like with new booster pack types coming out or anything like that. I don't know with how popular Pokemon cards are, if any other like mobile or gacha game's going to be able to compete with it for a long time. People might need to be fighting for spot 2 and just be okay with that. You're like, it's Pokemon. What the fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah. You know what's weird is that Pokemon Go's been growing. According to Sensor Tower, their average monthly players in the last year and a half has gone from 75 million to 120 million.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe they added some things in. I heard there were some new raids that were added to the game not that long ago. I always get like news for it in my Twitter feed, but I just never pay attention to it.
Their average daily players has tripled. Huh. But they're only making about this only goes up to 2020.
I'm sure they're making enough.
Yeah. They're only making $1 million. Is that a month? Spending chart.
If you're going by Sensor Tower, they do
all of 2020.
Oh, that was all of 2020. I would say because Sensor Tower usually gives you month to month.
No, the whole year 2020 they made 1 billion.
That's pretty low though for Pokemon, like especially Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I don't know if well, I don't know why it only goes up to...
Though to be fair for Pokemon, it depends on the year and what came out that year, but for the most part they make most of their money off of merchandise than literally anything else, which they count Pokemon cards in the merchandise, but also like clothing, like apparel, stuffed animals, toys, everything along that line. That's where most of their money comes. It's almost like half of what they make yearly. Then the next biggest thing is media, people buying the media. And then games will make somewhere between 5 to 10% of their total yearly revenue. Sometimes higher if it's like a really hyped game, like when a main entry for Pokemon comes out. And sometimes lower, even if the game was relatively hyped, if there's like new wave of Pokemon cards or something come out, just because that makes more money than like anything else individually.
But if they bought Pokemon Go for 3.5 million, I know that's not the only thing they bought, right? They bought their entire games division.
Was it million? I thought it was billion that they bought it for.
3.5 billion, sorry.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And apparently they are still making about $1 billion a year. I imagine they're going to want to up that.
They could probably find ways to up that. I feel like Niantic has probably been mishandling this game fairly well. Like they've been dropping the ball quite often within the last few years, even with more people joining back in. So
yeah, apparently as of a year ago, they'd made 8 billion lifetime. I feel like they can do better.
Those are rookie numbers.
I guess we'll see. Yeah. All right.
So, other things. Xbox has a new gaming AI that they're working on, which I think is stupid, but its aims are to help you get good at everything from Overwatch 2 to Minecraft. And basically, the AI is going to be a coach. You're going to get something that learns your play habits, compares it to the game. You okay there? Okay. I guess I'll continue talking to the audience. It's going to learn your play habits, it's going to watch you play, and it's going to give you advice based on how you're playing. It's basically just going to be the Xbox version of Copilot, which I guess is fine. There are worse things they could be using AI to try to help people get good. Like they could have the AI take over for you. But this seems kind of harmless. In fact, for a lot of people, I think it might actually end up making them worse.